Hi everyone, Scott Pear, pop cult fan here, and I just watched the most recent episodes of Star Wars Andor Season 2, episodes 7-9, and I want to talk about it. As you guys know, I wasn't fully invested with like the first 6 episodes of the show, just mainly because they chose stories with subplots that I wasn't sure would really matter in the grand scheme of things later in the season, and as a result, I just wasn't really all that invested with some of the things that they were doing in the first 6 episodes. But at the same time, I loved the more intense moments throughout the episodes. I loved some of the action that was presented, and also I think that all the acting is really great across the board. And finally, as we get to these new episodes that we just got last night on Disney Plus, episodes 7-9, I thought they did an amazing job with these recent episodes, especially episode 8. Easily, it's some of the most gripping, most intense, most thrilling moments we've ever had in Star Wars, even compared to movies. This episode 8 specifically, and how it's all this intention building with various characters, and all that crescendos into this massive planet-wide chaos on Gorman, the planet, and it was incredible. There was a lot of attention to detail with some of the things that have happened, and I think the character of Cyril, I believe that's his name, Cyril Karn, his journey, his arc throughout the show thus far, even compared to season 1, and how that kind of culminated in this giant sequence of events in episode 8. And I was hooked. It was tragic too, very tragic. I'd argue it's probably just as tragic as the Order 66 scene in Revenge of the Sith, and I thought it was very gripping. And also the character, Cyril Karn's lady friend, I forget her name, but she's kind of like the lieutenant, on Gorman, kind of overseeing everything. And her relationship with Cyril Karn throughout this second season has been kind of awkward, but kind of funny at the same time. And there were some really great moments between Cyril Karn and her, and we started to see some cracks in her, in some emotions that she does actually have, that she chooses to mostly keep concealed right within herself. And it just, there was this really gripping moment, quite literally, between the two of them. And I think also, with Cassian's journey in these 3 episodes, it hit pretty hard, especially if you've seen Rogue One and you know how Cassian's journey ends in Rogue One, and Cassian's lady friends, Bix, and where that went in episode 9. And I was like, oh, whoa, knowing where things go, I was like, but it was riveting, and the story was a lot more engaging in these episodes. And when we get to episode 9, we finally get some characters finally come in their stories, finally colliding with Cassian and with Mon Mothma, and how we finally start to see how we're getting from where Mon Mothma is in Coruscant to Mon Mothma on Yavin 4 eventually in Rogue One in the original trilogy. And we see how that plays out. It's kind of like a spy thriller kind of episode in episode 9, where Cassian has to do this thing, and there's no one that Mon Mothma can trust, no one. She doesn't know who she can trust, and as a result of that, there's this level of paranoia that she has, and she meets Cassian, and it's like, I don't know you. She doesn't know him, and because she never met him before until now. And when Cassian says, I have friends everywhere, immediately she does what she thinks she only can do to get out of the very sticky situation that she's in, a very dire situation, after she gives a speech in the Senate room, and it's very gripping, and I thought it was a very well done, and how we get from where Mon Mothma's journey began at the beginning of the season and all the way till eventually Yavin 4 in Rogue One in the original trilogy, I thought was very fascinating. And episode 9 ended finally of K2SO's origin story. I thought that was very fascinating too, and how that was handled. And I can't wait for Alan Tudyk to provide that voice again for K2SO in next week's last batch of episodes for the season. And yeah, I mean, I was critical of the first 6 episodes, but easily this is some of the best Star Wars that we've had in quite a while, in these batch of episodes, and I thought it was really well done. This is what I've been waiting for Andor. I've been waiting for this kind of gripping storytelling that's also relatable with some of these characters, and very emotionally resonant, and it kind of like what happens in episode 8 kind of reflective on real life, government officials and riots, that kind of stuff, all that is very relevant to today, as of today, so it hits very home. It hits hard at home for a lot of people, I'm sure, when they see this, and it was very gripping and emotional, and also just tragic, if you know what happens in Rogue One. And yeah, these are very solid episodes. No grade yet. I will do a full season review and give my grade for the show when we get the last 3 episodes next week, so look forward to that. And yeah, I think this show has definitely withstood the various other Star Wars Disney Plus shows that we've had. I enjoy all of them, really, but if you're looking for something that's a lot more grounded and more emotionally resonant with just great television, this is for you. Andor season 2 is for you. So those are my thoughts and my review of episodes 7 through 9, and I will catch you guys next time. Take care and have a great Wednesday. Peace.